Hello, audience. Welcome to Season 4. I know it's been a while. It's been a long time since the Dragon Ball video. Life happens. Unfortunately, for now, Anthony is gone. He just cannot make a work-school-life balance. Totally understandable. But in his place, I have a new guy. If you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
I'm Cody. I have a separate channel we can talk about later, maybe. But yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Well, welcome.
I don't know if I can fill Anthony's shoes.
Yeah, there you go. Do you wear size 10s? If so, you can fill his shoes just fine.
I don't think his shoes will fit me then. I'm 11 and a half, I think. Jeez,
I'm a 12. Jeez, wow, I got big feet.
man.
Regardless,
That one on a tangent.
welcome to From the Shelf, Cody. So today's topic is, if you can't tell by the picture on your screen, the Transformers the movie, the 1980s version. Before we get into that, Cody, what is your Transformers history before we dive into this film itself?
I was actually trying to remember. I think I used to watch the cartoon when I was little, but I was like, how? Because there wasn't one. I don't know if there was one airing at the time, but I remember seeing episodes of like the old one, so it must have been reruns.
The one that was airing when we were younger, I think, was Beast Wars.
Yeah, well, I watched Beast Wars like crazy, but I was trying to think of like prime Transformers.
Oh, Generation 1. Yeah.
Where would I have been watching that? But I mean, I remember watching it, and I watched the movie a whole bunch of times on a classic VHS.
Oh, man. Age
Yeah,
us, why don't you?
but no, but Beast Wars is the one that I mainly watched and had the toys. And as people might know, you're a crazy nerd and you have all the Transformers toys.
I collect a lot of Transformers, yeah.
I don't know how you ever inform.
Dude, I go broke every week. I have a problem.
Okay, yeah.
That's my life in a nutshell, but
And then obviously, I've seen the live action movies, and because that's more recent, I know those more, unfortunately.
yeah. I've seen all of them. They're of varying quality.
Yeah, I definitely like the first and third one the most.
Which one? I'd have to say the first and Rise of the Beasts are probably my favorites.
Yeah, I've only watched that Rise of the Beast once. I think I have it, but it's
Oh,
okay.
Transformers 1 is the best one.
Oh, yeah, and I guess it's fair. I mean, I still have I was young and, I was a teenager when the first few Bayformers movies came out. So there is this sort of locked in nostalgia that you can't really get rid of because I was the right age at the time that they came out.
Yeah, because we were probably what, 15, 16 when the first one came out? Around there.
Around there. Yep.
But back to this movie, Transformers the movie. It was basically a season 3 toy commercial.
Okay, so that explains a lot.
So it takes place 20 years after season 2 ended, and somehow the Decepticons completely turned the tide of the war. They don't really explain that. It's just Megatron's all of a sudden in control because. But the movie starts with essentially just Robo Satan eating people.
Huh. No, that explains a lot. I felt like I missed something when the movie started because it was like, what did I miss a scene?
No, it just jumps 20 years after season 2 because season 2 took place in 1985 and this takes place in 2005. So there's a giant time jump and you don't really get a what happened in between thing.
Huh.
And the plot of this movie is really very simple. And I don't really think we need to go over much of it other than the big bulk of this movie is just old characters are gone, here's the new ones. That's this movie.
Who in this one was like, here's the new, like, I assume Unicron.
Unicron, this was Unicron's first appearance.
Okay, cool.
The main cast, Hot Rod, Ultra Magnus, Cup, RC, and Springer, they're all new. They were not in seasons 1 and 2.
Huh.
Galvatron, you see Galvatron get made in this movie. Cyclonus, Scourge, they're all the new Decepticons.
It was introducing just a whole bunch of new stuff. That's a weird way to get people's attention. Like you said, I guess season 3 toy commercial. Because I mean, if I had a series that I was watching and I go see a movie and none of the characters are people that I know, I'd be like, what is going on here?
And it's crazy too because they kill off just about all the old Autobots, like in brutal ways too. Like Prowl just gets shot through the chest and smoke comes out of his face.
Yeah, I was very surprised at the brutality of this movie. I was like, oh wow, this would not get made today because it's for kids.
Ironhide gets his head blown off by Megatron. I think the only Autobot from seasons 1 that survive are Cliffjumper, Bumblebee, and Jazz. Oh, and the Dinobots. We got to talk about the elephant in the room here, something they don't ever attempt to do again, which is replace Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I figured he would come back at some point. Again, especially after Ultra Magnus just got put back together. I'm like, oh, so Optimus is gonna, and then it just didn't happen. I was like, oh, okay. So I was saying I had seen this movie. I didn't remember any of it, so I was basically watching it fresh again.
Oh, that's good for you.
I mean, 20, 25 years, however long it's been since I've seen this movie, it's definitely been over 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't remember any of it at all.
You know what, too? This movie really shows how much the Autobots suck at combat. Because they're getting crushed until Optimus gets there.
Isn't that usually what happens?
I mean, in the show, they were implied to be winning the war.
Yeah, and that's it seems like there were a lot of strange decisions with this one.
Yeah, like half of the cast from season 2 was just not here. Also, like Jetfire's not here, Bruticus isn't here, Trax isn't here. There's a lot of people that just are not here, and they don't explain why. They're just gone. You don't even see them die. They're just gone.
Again, weird decisions.
Like, did you notice Wheeljack? You don't even see him die. His body's just there on the ground, dead.
No. The movie was going a million miles a minute. I probably missed that. I will actually give the movie that. For 1980s movies were often pretty slow paced. This one had the exact opposite problem. It was just.
It never gives you a moment to breathe.
I mean, the opening battle, I checked when it finally ended. It was quite literally the first 26 minutes of the movie. And the movie's only 86 minutes long or something like that.
And all that really did was set up Optimus Prime's death.
Yeah, that's true. That is exactly what it was for.
Oh, I guess, and Megatron, because Megatron doesn't really survive either.
Splitting hairs there, but yeah, I guess not.
I think if Unicron hadn't found him, he probably would have died.
Maybe I'm still a bit confused how Optimus died from that, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to sell Rodimus Prime, so we'll kill Optimus off. Okay.
Hey. Actually, so did he even Rodimus at the end? So did he undergo any kind of physical change? Because
he gets slightly taller.
Okay, because I did not see that happen. I did see though, right after it happens, he transforms into this transport truck thing that some characters jump in. I was like, he just increased in size by 10 times. What? It's this one shot where the perspective was so strange. I'm like, he just got giant.
Yeah, G1 is full of animation errors like that, where people in one shot are giant, and the other are tiny.
I think that's just a side effect of 80s animation.
Yeah, no, I remember I was in an Instagram post and someone shared a G1 shot, and I said G1 isn't even G1 accurate, and it got 300 something likes. So hey.
That's funny.
But trying to think of big plot points to talk about in this movie. The big one's Optimus Prime's death.
I was actually surprised right when the movie started. This is kind of a Marvel adjacent production.
Yeah, you were texting me about that yesterday because
at first it starts up and it says Marvel Productions, like the Marvel. It's like, oh yeah, it's a spin-off company that I guess was involved with Fox. I tried to read up on it. It was kind of confusing because it's gone through several iterations since then. But I think
Marvel was writing the G1 comics back in the day.
Oh, okay. So that would explain it. Because I looked at this company. They also did I think they did the G.I. Joe show, and they did the actual Transformers show, and a few other.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they did the show. I know they were writing the comics. But
again, it's this specifically Marvel Productions branch that did it, and that didn't seem like they did a lot of the other stuff. Like I don't think they did the '90s X-Men show or like the Spider-Man show, but they did do some other X-Men and Spider-Man stuff.
oh, probably like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and
Yeah,
something like.
I think it was that one actually. Yes, I think. But it was just interesting to see the movie start. And I was like, "What? Oh, Marvel was involved with this at all? That's interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't know that."
that might explain why Unicron is basically just Galactus.
Yeah, that's what I think I said that to you. It was like, "Oh, so since this is a Marvel property, we can have Galactus versus Unicron. Let's do it."
Exactly, make it happen. I think though a big narrative problem with this film is that Hasbro was so toy focused that they didn't actually care about character writing. It's like, oh, well, kill them off. We got to get the new toys on the shelf. And that's frustrating for someone who's been following the show and got attached to Optimus Prime, Prowl, Sideswipe, all these other people. They're just dead.
And that would also explain why, like from scene to scene, it was just, "Hey, look at this thing. Hey, look at this thing."
Mm-hmm.
Probably exactly what the point of the scene was just
Yeah.
at this thing we have now.
Hey, look, this will be on the shelf soon. Go buy your Ultra Magnus figure.
I will say that it was cool to see that it was complete, obviously because it had to be. It was completely hand drawn, and you just don't
Yeah.
see that anymore.
No,
I mean, never take the time to hand draw any kind of robot character anymore.
For 80s hand-drawn animation, this is actually pretty good.
I was impressed. There were a few shots. There's this one shot where Unicron, I think, smashes his hand into Cybertron. I was like, oh, okay, that actually looked cool.
Yeah. The battle with Optimus and Megatron is probably the highlight of the movie for me.
That makes sense.
Because when Rodimus fights Galvatron at the end, it's not even a fight. He just throws him through a wall. We can't not talk about the voice cast, though, because they actually got some pretty big names for this movie.
Yeah, the one that stood out to me was because I had no idea was when Megatron gets turned into Galvatron, and then suddenly he's Leonard Nimoy. I was like, "Whoa, what am I hearing? That is Leonard Nimoy." And then I was like, "Okay, so that must be why they cast him as Sentinel in Dark of the Moon, because
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way that's a coincidence."
I
But
think
yeah, that was a surprise.
Judd Nelson from Breakfast Club is Hot Rod.
And Eric Idle was, I think his name was Wreckar.
Yeah, the Junkion. I love how he's like top billing and he's in like 2 scenes.
I'm just gonna call him Eric Idle with nipple guns.
Yes, that's basically what he is. Who Robert Stack, is that his name? From Unsolved Mysteries was Ultra Magnus.
I don't know if any other voices stood out to me.
Orson Welles is Unicron.
Oh, that's interesting.
That was his final role.
That's a cool way to go out.
He hated it. He absolutely hated it.
I could definitely see that being the case.
He could not stand it. You still have Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime.
Yeah, and it's great. He sounds exactly the same as he does today. It's insane.
It is. Frank Welker's still Megatron. I don't get why his voice changes when he's Galvatron.
I maybe just to be like one of two reasons. Either look, this is technically a different character, even though like he still does Megatron things throughout, and he tries to be himself. Yeah. So that's a weird choice. Or like, let's get Leonard Nimoy just cause.
Yeah, I think when they wrote Galvatron, he was supposed to be a different character, but they couldn't come up with a way to make him take over. So they were just like, okay, let's just make him a new Megatron.
Well, and they probably also wanted Galvatron to be immediately relevant. So yeah, making him be Megatron, I guess, accomplishes that.
Yeah. Whereas Rodimus is just not the same. Because it's weird to just have this random new kid be the main character of your Transformers movie. But he's got no buildup. And then it's not just the Autobots they replaced. They replaced the human characters too, because they got that kid Daniel in there, who was never in the show before.
Well, you said it took place 20 years later.
Yeah, so he had a son in between, so that's fine. But it's just weird that they're replacing our original human protagonist with this new kid.
Well, time skips. It happens.
Yeah. So if you don't know this, Cody, Sam for the movies is based on Spike.
Okay.
So The dad who was hanging out with Bumblebee is who Sam is based on in the first 3 Transformers movies.
Do they have more similarities elsewhere? Because Sam's
they're not alike at all.
Sam's a little less confident, a little more jokey, but that's again a side effect of being a Bay production.
Yeah, no, they're really not alike at all. Aside from being friends with Bumblebee.
I mean, every show, every has a different kid, so I was like, I didn't think Sam was based on any one of them.
He's supposed to be based on Spike.
Well, that's strange.
They have the same last name.
Well, I don't know. I think I said it to you. Where it seems like throughout the 5 Bay movies that they were pulling from this movie.
Yeah, just probably. Yeah, I agree with you there. I
mean, right up to the strange reveal at the end of the last Bay movie. What was it? The Last Night. The reveal at the very end, which will never make sense, and since that series is over, will never be explained.
Even though they say Rise of the Beast and Bumblebee are prequels to that, but there ain't no way
at all. The Bay series is over. the Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast have nothing to do with them. Yeah. I'm never going to get over the fact that it ended with Earth is Unicron. What?
Oh, so how are we going to stop him? We're not. It's just over.
Like, and then that's how the series ended. Cool.
Unicron. Okay, cool.
There's no way out of that. Like, what was the plan there?
I don't think there was.
Oh God, yeah. So like I said, they were pulling from this '86 movie for all of them. There were shreds of it. You got the Matrix and some others that like. Oh, by the way, why did they turn the Matrix into this spiky stick in the movies? Because that design, the original design, would have worked live action.
Like they don't. The Matrix in the Bay movies really makes no sense. It's called the Matrix of Leadership, but Optimus Prime doesn't have it. It's just a key. But it's called the Matrix of Leadership.
Yeah, there were some interesting decisions.
Yeah. What else? Okay, you brought up a point earlier that I want to bring up here. Ultra Magnus gets blown to pieces. And they're able to put him back together, no problem. Optimus has a little wound on his side and he just dies.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
When he got blown up, I was just like, oh wow, that was cool, because like you see his head go flying. Like,
he's just in pieces. He's got blown to bits.
I know he's a robot, but that was brutal. And again, he just gets put back together.
But Optimus Prime gets shot in the side, and he just dies.
Yep, and doesn't like. I was like, oh, so they're gonna go get that crew to go do whatever they just did and bring Optimus back to life, right? No, they never do.
No. It's because they wanted a new Autobot leader, and I'll get to that in the aftermath, but...
You said they did use Hot Rod in the live-action movies?
Yeah, he's in The Last Night. He's the French guy.
The butler dude?
No, that's Cogman. He had like the weird like gravity power weapon thing.
Wow, yeah, I don't remember him.
Well, to be fair, The Last Night is awful. So we might talk about those movies someday.
Yeah, there's a whole host of things to say about this. I think maybe all in one video.
Oh God. To this though, it is honest to God a fun watch because it's just non-stop, turn your brain off kind of action.
Yeah, but
if you care about storytelling at all, this ain't for you.
No, it was interesting. Like I said, I was impressed with the animation, especially for the age. Actually, pretty shortly into it, I was like, this feels a little bit like Dragon Ball, and then I checked the year, and it turns out Dragon Ball started the exact same year.
Yeah, something we can't not talk about is this movie's soundtrack.
I kept getting thrown off because it was so 80s upbeat during these like war scenes.
The Decepticons just slaughtering Autobot City, and then you got this high action upbeat dare to believe you. Yeah, that song playing in the background.
They played it like 3 separate times too.
Yeah. The remix of the theme song I think is actually really cool. that they play in the intro and the ending credits.
Yeah, I was still, I think, recovering from noticing the Marvel logo at the time, so I wasn't thinking.
The song that plays when Optimus goes on his charge against Megatron, "The Touch," iconic.
Yeah,
So much that Mark Wahlberg sings it in Boogie Nights.
It's one of those things that's been memed like crazy over the years.
But also, like, the movie just kind of stops. Like, it doesn't feel like the ending is like resolving anything. It's just, oh, Unicron's dead. Movie's over.
Yeah, I think I did feel a bit. It felt a bit abrupt when the credits started. I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna have like a wind down, but okay, no, that's it. Cool.
No, it's just Rodimus is now the leader, and okay, what happened to Galvatron? What happened to the others? This movie had such a backlash at the time that they actually had to add 2 episodes at the end of season 3, a month after it ended, because they needed to bring Optimus Prime back to life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was reading some people, I guess, hate Rodimus because he got Optimus killed too, which didn't help.
I mean, to be fair, if Hot Rod had just not jumped in, Optimus probably would have lived.
Yeah.
Because he had Megatron beat. He won the fight.
Yeah, I think he was about to straight up execute Megatron too, which was like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, at that point, Optimus is like, no, Megatron's got to die. I
this is just one of those things that like this would not happen in a kid's show today, because I was like, he was going to kill him.
Which there are some point where your villain just has to die. And
yeah, I really wish Batman would learn this lesson.
How many times are you going to let Joker just kill people?
Let's not go off on a tangent. We know how that goes.
But the point is, Optimus knew, I got to kill Megatron. And he wasn't going to pull his head out with an axe like he did in Dark of the Moon. He was just going to blow his head off. Yeah, but now people hate Rodimus because he got Optimus killed. And
so is Rodimus the main character of season 3?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so that probably did not go well.
Yeah, so they got such backlash that after season 3 ended, a month later they added 2 new episodes called The Return of Optimus Prime, just to bring him back.
Yeah, they probably were forced to. Yeah,
they had no choice. Yeah, and they have never ever tried to replace Optimus Prime since.
And why would you?
He's just a better character. He's iconic. He's the face of the franchise for a reason. That's why Peter Cullen's been him for, Jesus Christ, 40 years now?
No. He just got recast in Transformers 1. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wanted to review this movie for the 40th anniversary of Transformers, but I kind of missed that because now it's the 41st anniversary. But here we are. As a popcorn flick, turn your brain off, fun ride. It's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, maybe get some drugs right before watching. It'll help a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But there is no substance to the plot at all.
There's this moment towards the beginning when I know there's this thing about Megatron turning into a gun, which has always been strange, but he turns into a gun that's like 1/20th his size and jumps into Starscream's hand.
And Starscream just starts shooting people with Megatron.
And I'm just like, but why?
It's funny you say that, because every time they make a new Generation 1 Megatron toy, he turns into a tank, not a gun.
Well, because a tank has a gun on it, and then you still have Starscream able to do his own stuff at the same time. Why was Starscream shooting Megatron?
Right? When Starscream has these 2 laser cannons on his arms already, why do you need to shoot Megatron?
It threw me off so much. Oh, actually, speaking of which, does Starscream stay dead?
Yes.
Like that's it for him?
He comes back as a ghost.
Oh.
But he's just dead.
Interesting.
But the 2 other ones that look like him, Thundercracker and Skywarp, they become Cyclonus and Scourge. It's weird to me, though, speaking of Scourge, he's like a boat in this, but he's a dark Optimus-looking truck in Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah, they've messed with those transformations a lot in the live-action movies.
Yeah. The only one that's kind of the same is Optimus.
I think he has to be.
He has to be a truck, otherwise everyone's going to look at you like, that's not Optimus Prime.
I think people were still upset that he turned into a different type of truck.
Well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, but it was just to make him look cooler. That was the whole thing.
I think
But
it
then,
was also because they don't want to do the mass shifting thing where like Megatron turns to a little gun. So they wanted the vehicles to at least be around the same size as the robot.
I think I actually do remember somebody saying that they needed a bigger truck because there wasn't room for him to transform into the other shape. I don't think that's the real reason, but I do vaguely remember somebody saying that.
We could talk about those movies another day. As for Transformers, this leads into season 3, and then Japan makes their own couple follow-ups. That's a podcast for another day. I'd like to thank all of you guys for listening today, and welcome Cody into From the Shelf.
I appreciate it.
Cody, since you are now part of this, what movie or show are we going to talk about next time?
Oh man, that's tough. Should we go with a nostalgia thing?
You take your pick.
Just playing into this classic, and I want to see how it ages, sort of deal. Have you done the Pokemon movie?
No, we have not done the Pokemon movie.
Because I have seen that more recently than this. So I
haven't seen that since the 90s.
I've definitely seen it since then, but it's still probably been 10, 15 years.
The one with Mewtwo, right?
Yeah, but that one I'll remember a good chunk of it. But I want to see how it ages.
All right. Well, what's it on so I can watch it?
I have no idea. But
I could probably find it on YouTube. Well, I guess next time we're going to be talking about Pokemon the first movie.
Good stuff. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I haven't watched it probably since I was a child. I want to thank you guys again so much for listening today. We're going to try to make this a more weekly thing, so stay tuned. But until then, take care.